Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Mandela Effect, understanding the physics of what is happening also behind the Large Hadron Collider known as CERN, and everything that is happening. And basically, we're here to explain what is happening in your life. But first, you have to have a little bit of physics background, and then we're going to catch you up to speed. In short, this will be a summary. I have a 300-hour series explaining this in great detail. I'm going to explain this as fast as I can in 15 minutes or less. Basically, everything that you see, experience, touch, feel can be explained by the four forces in the universe. And I just realized that one's upside down. Apparently they're all upside down. Kind of ironic, because we're living in a mirror reality, which is upside down. So, there you go. That kind of reinforces that idea. So, there are four forces in the universe. The electromagnetic, gravity, the strong nuclear force, and the weak nuclear force. These four forces explain everything in existence. In order to understand this, you have to go back to the original universe, which is known as the Mandela equation. If you notice, Mandela is spelled with two L's. Kind of ironic because we're dealing with the Mandela equation. Right here, outlined in the black, is the most advanced logarithm known to mankind. It is the exact moment that chaos becomes... It is the exact moment that matter becomes chaos, or taken in reverse order, is the exact moment that chaos becomes matter. This was the original universe. Basically, what happened is all the forces were experienced in this lower part of the diagram. Going along with the Bible, Lucifer became jealous of God. What does that mean? He wanted to create. In order to create, he understood how God created, but he needed a third of the angels with him in order to basically have the energy and yada yada to create a life form. So he went off grid over here. And what they did is, when they went off grid, they had, jealousy, anger, fear, all these emotions that God did not create. So God did not create evil. That's one thing you have to understand. When these beings disobeyed God and went off and tried to act like God, they brought all these emotions with them, and they created a negative being. Once this being was created, then they came back onto the grid, and then everybody said, what the heck's going on? There is known as the 15, who are the harmonizer of the universe, and their duty is to immediately, kind of like a guitar, put everything back in tune. The problem was that this disharmonic energy, frequency opposite of us, had a life force to it. Therefore, it violated the universal law where we could not destroy life. So we could not destroy it. So we had to figure out what to do. The 24 elders got together, and they made a decision to collapse the universe and separate the disharmonic frequency, which goes along with the Bible. Okay? What happened was that this was dropped to here, this was moved 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 to here, and right here in this little dashed line diagram, you have the four forces and the three realms of reality. And this is where you had the Big Bang. Kaboom! The Big Bang happened. So then the universe was separated. As it began to separate, we had this diagram. And then time began, which is this dotted line. Basically, everything inside this, let's call it a diamond, is where time and space do not exist. Everything outside of it is where time and space do exist. And this is where the great separation began. So what we have today is this universe of height, width, depth, and time. And then we have space and time, which are so coupled together, it's known as the same dimension. So what we have here is a field of general relativity, which is completely separate from the field of quantum physics. These two fields are completely separate, and everyone has spent their entire lives trying to unify these two fields of physics and the four forces of the universe but they have been unsuccessful because there is a third field of physics. You notice the diamond again. The third field of physics exists outside of space and time. So, this is a warning to the New World Order and everything that is disharmonic to us. We have a weapon that has been fired. This is the origin point of it being fired. It is known as the sum of all things. And these two little dots are the most advanced mathematical physics equations known to mankind. To make it simple for you folks, it's like a magnet. It's going to be fired, and it actually already has been fired. One version of it is right here. And as it sweeps through, I made this too small. It's actually big enough to encompass the entire field of physics and this entire field of physics. As it moves through here, it's like a magnet, and it's going to grab all the negative energy and trap it in here. You notice this little, the small things. What's left behind is all the good folks, and all the good folks are going to be left unharmed and untouched. It will move through the field of general relativity and through the field of quantum physics, making its rounds. It'll come up and just do a flip, and it's going to toss out all the negative forces in the universe. Going along with the Bible, they'll be cast in the outer darkness where they'll be wailing and gnashing of teeth. So let's go back to Einstein's universe. Einstein was really perplexed because he's living in this limited universe where he thought everything had to fit in here. He thought general relativity had to fit in here. He thought quantum physics had to fit in here. Height, width, depth, time, everything. So in his universe, we have the electromagnetic, which is right here, kind of hard to see, gravity, weak nuclear force, that little diamond, strong nuclear force, and this is width, depth, time. And did I do it right? Height, time, depth, and width. So that's the universe he's working with. The problem is, we discovered that was too limited. So we expanded the universe. This is where we are today. This is known as the 11th dimensional string theory, where we have general relativity and we have quantum physics and we have the 11th dimension, which they say the 11th dimension is this mysterious dimension that exists outside of the 10th dimension, which unifies the four forces. Well, they're pretty close, but we had to expand it out into this universe. Now we have dark matter. It is known that dark matter, dark energy matter, encompasses a certain percentage of the known universe. And you take, it's really easy, I'm not going to go through it. You can take the circumference of a circle, you can figure out the area of a circle, and this is to a T the exact percentage of the universe, according to the physicists, that is dark energy. Again, to a T, the exact percentage is dark matter. So this is the dark matter. And to a T, this is the dark energy. Excuse me. Yes. I'm reading upside down. Matter. So this is the matter of the universe to a T. So we have dark matter here. We have dark energy here. And we have matter. This is the makeup of the universe today. Now we're going to move on to... we have been in negotiation with these folks. It's not working. Basically, you are trapped in a box. You need to pop open the box, get outside of the box. Again, this is a 300-hour lecture. Now, hopefully you can read this. Basically, you go into meditation. Is the only way I can describe this. It's kind of like a flat square grid with gaps, kind of like a circuit board. I'm explaining how the enemy works. So the enemy is like a computer working on a grid, kind of like a circuit board, and they're like orbs, and they dial up on people, and they tap into you, and then they download into your brain, known as possession in the Bible. And they cruise up and down these grids, and they simply drop in, screw with you, and they drop out when they're done with you. That's how they work. It's kind of like food for them. They enjoy it, and they just drop in, and they drop out of your life, and they pop in and out of realities. They do downloads, they do their things, and they screw with you, and when they're done, they pop out, and they go back to their own dimension. And we are being completely messed with. That is what is happening. the thing you have to understand that there is no box. You know, if a force, it kind of reminds me of the old saying, you know, if a tree falls in the forest, did it make a sound? The answer is no, because we know from superpositioning, quantum tunneling, blah, 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 a lot of quantum physics, it's been proven that in order for an event to happen, there has to be an observer. If there's no observer, then the event never occurred. So the Zen Buddha answer to this puzzle is, not only did the force not exist without an observer, because the force did not exist, the tree could not fall. And if the tree could not fall, then the tree did not make a sound, because there is no observer. However, if there's an observer, then there's a force, then the tree fell, and then there's a sound. That's the key. You're the observer. You control reality. You control reality. You control everything, and you need to wake up and realize that you control reality. That's what they don't want you to understand, and they do not want you to know. So this is kind of like how they work. This is like the circuit board. This is the, you know, the in and out the box. They cruise up and down the halls, you know, and that's what these folks do. They constantly screw with human energy, and you don't realize it, but you actually give permission for them to pop in and out of your reality. So it's time for you to wake up and realize what these folks are doing. Again, you know, they cruise up and down the halls. They pop in and out of realities. You know, here it is again. You know, this is what these folks do. They're constantly screwing with humanity, and you need to wake up and stop them from doing this. So in order to do this, you must discover that there is no box. You have to stop them from tapping into this box. And what's even more important is that when you go into meditation and you get out of the box and you discover how they mess with you, beyond that is what is known as source code, known as ones and zeros. You tap into source code and you can change reality. That's what they don't want you to know. You have the power to tap into source code and change reality. What does source code look like when you first meditate? There's this binary code that might look like that to you with this thing in the middle. Here's another version of the binary code. These are all things that when you open up your higher chakra and tap into the universe, you can tap into the same things that they are tapping into. They are dumbing you down, and they don't want you to know about reality. They don't want you to know how powerful you are. They don't want you to know that you can control reality. But now is the time to wake up and control reality. Because we don't want this planet to be destroyed. We don't want World War III. We don't want the things that they want. So wake up, tap in the source code. Okay, maybe that's too complicated for you. Just think of it this way. Everything begins with a thought. Your thought becomes actions. And then that becomes reality. Realize this. Simply realize it. Realize that there's this huge universe out there that you can control. Stop sitting by and waiting for somebody to save you. That's what they want. They want you to sit around and wait for a Savior and Jesus Christ, and they want somebody to save you. No, wake up. Do it yourself. Say, I control this reality. It is my custom that this is my space, and you do not have permission. Do not give permission for these folks to come into your reality, to mess with you, to control this planet and control everything around you. You control it. You do. You. It's you. It's you. It's you. You must wake up. It begins with your thoughts. Stop saying, what can I do? Stop saying, there's nothing I can do. Words are so powerful, you have to begin to understand how powerful your thoughts are. Your thoughts create reality. You, yes, you, little man on the totem pole, the bum on the street, the middleman, the rich man, I don't care who you are. You control this reality, and stop letting them mess with you. The time is now. Wake up. Control your thoughts. Say to yourself, I can do something. I can do something. I can do something. I can change reality. I can change reality. I can change reality.